The quality,
Quality definitely just
it,
a little bit.
it's a little, yeah, but I still see you, I still
All
hear you and everything.
we'll make do with what we've got. But after 30 minutes, we are finally here with Miss KATHRYN. I'm so
Yes.
excited to have you on the show, girl. Uh, you hit me up. What was that? Back in December,
Yeah, yeah.
saying that
Mm-hmm.
you were up on the show, and for whatever reason, I completely forgot that you were stationed not in Texas. And I
Yeah,
was like,
Virginia.
just come through whenever. And you're like, live in Virginia. All right. So,
Yeah.
anyways, go ahead. Um, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, deepest, darkest secret, and anything else you want to go from there.
All right. First of all, Marcus, thank you for having me on. I'm really excited, a little bit nervous, but my name is KATHRYN WHITBECK. I was born in San Marcos, Texas, born and raised. Attended Texas State University for music. Now I am in the Navy Band program. I'm stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, with my husband. He's a guitarist in this program. We have a son, Theodore, who was born in April. Deepest, darkest secret. Let me think of one that I can tell you. Uh, I would say,
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Eh,
that was the darkest thing that I could tell you.
Fair
So,
enough, man. I mean,
yeah.
that question is funny because it always catches people off guard, and some people are just like, I don't like you. I can't tell you what my deepest darkest secret is. Other people, it's like, uh, my name is Austin because I was born in Austin.
Yeah, that's the extent of it.
Yeah, man. But anyways, I didn't realize your kid is like not even one yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's 9 months,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, I had him in April, so the pandemic was here in full
Yeah.
force, and so oh my God, that was so hard because my husband works at a training command right now. So
Okay.
he's considered an essential worker. So when I was pregnant, I was really, really trying not to get COVID
Yeah.
because moms who have COVID and deliver a baby at this hospital, they were separating them for 14 days
Oh
after
wow.
having the baby. So my husband and I were staying separate from each other within our apartment because he
Wow.
was going to work. I didn't want to catch it. And thankfully, I didn't get it. I had him. I was able to be with my son. And I think he's really used to people wearing masks. I think that's,
Yeah, I was about to say
yeah,
that's got to be a little weird for him to just always kind of seeing people in a mask and all that get up.
yeah.
This is a little odd of a question, but what was it like? I mean, you don't have an experience otherwise, but like, what was it like um, giving birth in that hospital setting?
Uh, um, I guess when it got to that moment, I wasn't really thinking about that. But I will say this. My husband was the only person with me the whole time because you could only have one person with.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I think normally people have like their mom and their grandpa and everyone's
yeah,
there. So it was just my husband there, which I didn't mind. It was nice and quiet and peaceful, and
for sure.
but I would. How was it giving birth in that environment? I was just so relieved that I didn't catch it, because
Yeah,
I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to stay away from him for 14 days." Like that was my worst nightmare. I was like, I cannot catch this. So
yeah.
so I was just relieved that everything went well, and yeah. So
Good, man. Well, I'm glad everything went well. I'm glad you didn't have to be separated from him at any point in time.
yes.
But I just, yeah, I remember seeing articles and stuff like that where they were separating their kids from the
Yeah.
parents for an extended period of time, and yeah, dude. The silver lining, I mean, you. got an extended, I don't want to say maternal leave, but like kind of, sort of.
Well, okay, so because my band isn't very active right now, right? Because
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of businesses in general, just everything's cut down so much. Yeah, I had maternity leave, and then once I was off maternity leave, it's like I didn't. It's not like I was going back to work Monday to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Friday. It was like, okay, so I'm off maternity leave, and now I'm still kind of not doing a whole lot. So,
yeah,
yes, the silver lining, I see what you're saying now, is if things were normal, I would have had those 3 months and then I would have had to get back
yeah.
in the
Just
swing of things.
jump back into the performance.
And that would have been difficult. That would have been
Yeah,
hard, to
for
be
sure.
honest with you.
And I mean, what what would you have done since you're a performer? You said your husband was a performer. So what would you've uh, been able to do with your son?
Oh, I see. Well, you mean like, you mean
Like,
when,
I guess first off, uh, before we dive too much into that, what
yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah, that's
Like
a
in
good
the Navy?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, you have your DC bands, uh, and then you have your fleet band, Navy fleet bands that are we're stationed in San Diego, Seattle, Washington. We have a band in Jacksonville. We have overseas bands. One in Japan. That's where I was stationed before I came here. One in Italy. We have areas of responsibility,
Hmm.
AORs. So what that means is if we're going to do a Navy event or a public outreach event in North Carolina, then that means my band in Virginia is going to go take care of that.
That makes sense. Okay.
If there's international diplomatic, if we need to go to Thailand
Yeah.
for good relations with them, the the Japanese band that we have is going to
Yeah.
go take care of that. So that's what we do. Public outreach, recruiting, inspire patriotism. There's a whole like our mission statement is
Yeah.
to do all those things. Oh, and also ceremonies. So I'm singing 2 ceremonies tomorrow,
Okay.
and then I have a recording session. We're doing a Valentine's Day recording that's going to be publicized on our
Get
page. But
cute. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it is. But so we do ceremonies. So that's
Okay.
within the Navy, but we also do public stuff. But what do we do aside from that? Well, we run our own fiscal shop, administrative shop,
Okay.
library. So we all have what we call collateral duties.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not just a trumpet player; I'm also travel the head travel person, or I'm not just a
Gotcha.
vocalist, I'm also, the head librarian or whatever. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So, assuming we were not in a pandemic,
Okay.
do you have family out there in Virginia that would have been able to take care of your son, or would you have had to just go straight daycare?
I don't have any family in Virginia, but if we weren't in a pandemic, my mom would have come, like everyone would have come up
Oh, word.
here. But
Okay.
yeah, but as soon as I got off maternity leave, we were coming in on a like maybe 2 or 3 days per week basis. So I
Okay.
got childcare right after maternity leave. I just didn't have to use it a whole lot.
Gotcha.
Um, so it's like if I'm only going in Thursday and Friday for rehearsals, then
Yeah.
I'm only going to do daycare Thursday and Friday. So
Yeah. Of course, that makes sense. And I mean, on that, what's um is your audio getting a little fuzzy? Am I tripping
you're
out?
fine. You're
Okay.
fine to me. Yeah.
Okay. Started clicking a little bit. What were the rehearsals looking like?
But before the pandemic or you mean after?
During the
During
pandemic.
the
You said you're
pandemic.
going in Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, so we would have rehearsals not for performances, but for our video recordings and our virtual
Yeah.
content. And so we would be, 6 feet apart, 20 feet apart, because for vocalists we had to be really, really far away
Yeah.
from our
Yeah.
bandmates.
Yeah.
So we were just in a really big rehearsal room, and face masks for those who could wear them while they're playing their instrument.
Yeah.
And that's the show must go on, I
Yeah.
guess. But we were separated like that.
So you guys were pretty quick to adapting to the situation.
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
for
That's
sure.
good, man. I'm glad you still had some level of performance, I guess is the easiest way to say, whether regardless of the fact that it was like actual performance, you were still at least able to get together, as
Sure.
opposed to
Yeah.
the homies that are gigging musicians who, just performing on like Sixth Street and stuff like that. It's like the guy completely shut out and weren't able to do anything. So,
Right.
uh, and then even then, I've got a buddy who plays tuba for, I think, Air Force or the National Guard,
Okay.
and he kind of got, uh, how do I put it? He's not able to take auditions for anything because they kind of like, I don't capped like all
The
positions.
Manning, they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see.
So it put him in a weird spot because like that's not like a full-time position for him,
Right.
was that band, and he was looking for that full-time gig, and now they don't have the option for him to do a full-time gig, and he's just in this weird like kind of limbo thing. He's about to finish his degree. He has a half part-time gig, and he's trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
So that
So
sounds maybe like the National Guard isn't releasing him to take the audition, or because I know that like the Navy, we're still doing auditions with
are
people. I
you?
don't know. Yeah. So like if I wanted to audition for the DC band, like your command, whoever you are, your command can say, "Nah, we still need you." Like, they don't
Yeah,
have they don't have to let you go take an audition. So maybe his the National Guard is like, no, like,
for sure.
especially now they're like, we need all of y'all.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much about it, and I don't want to talk poorly on it or anything like that. But the brief explanation he gave me, like he was kind of stuck with where he was at right now, which sucks.
Right.
Because he wanted that full time gig, and now he doesn't get the chance to find that.
Mm.
But that being said, what type of bands are you performing with? Like what's your gig?
So when I say the U.S. Fleet Forces band,
Yeah,
we are made up of 40 people,
really.
and when we all come together, we make a ceremonial band. That's going to be for if the president visits our base and we need to play honors and the anthem and all that.
Gotcha.
So what guitarists and bass players and vocalists do is we do auxiliary percussion. So you'll like this. No. I had to take percussion techniques
For
in
real?
A school. Yeah, and I'm not trying to brag on myself. I'm really not. But I feel like I picked it out like left, right, left, right, left, like my reading, was on point and
Got
everything.
it.
So yeah, so no, but we learned cymbals because we either have to play bass, drums, cymbals in the marching band or in
Yeah.
ceremonial band.
Yeah.
So like, oh man, cymbals are my favorite because you can just like you're getting ready, you're just like, bah, and then like you can
Yeah,
have the
dude.
visual, like so I have a lot of fun with that.
No, that's
I don't
awesome.
have
Okay.
fun. I don't have fun with marching with a bass drum.
It's rough. It's a rough time. It
For
is.
especially for me, like
Echo, you're not built big. You
no. So I'm just like engage my core, engage my core, engage my core, da da da, and then turning. I gotta hold it when I turn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that was fun. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the top
Oh, so
ceremony.
yeah. So let me. You were asking about what type of ensembles we have.
Yeah.
So that's the ceremonial band or marching band. We also break away into a jazz combo. So I might be part of a jazz combo and a PMG, popular music group. That's when we
Gotcha.
go out to high schools or we go on TV
Yeah.
or go to Fleet Week and we're a rock band.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And
and
then
then go
during
ahead.
that point in time, you're singing, I assume.
Yeah, yes, I am singing in the rock band in the jazz combo. The only time I'm playing auxiliary percussion is in ceremonial band or
Gotcha.
yeah,
Right on, man.
yeah.
And how long has it been that you've been in?
2017. That was in September. I went to boot camp, but I didn't actually get to my first band till May of the following year. So May of 2018, I started in
Okay.
Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize you went to Japan for a bit. Okay.
I know,
Yo, what was
like
that like? How long were you out there?
I was slated to be there 3 years, but because of my pregnancy,
Mm.
um, and let me explain something real quick, okay? So my husband's here. My husband was
Yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm in Japan.
Yes.
Twice a year you get 2 weeks of leave
Yeah.
that you can take to travel wherever you want.
Okay.
I traveled here. I went back to Japan. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, so anyway, so
Took full advantage of the 2 weeks. Got it.
you could say that.
Heard.
Yeah. So I found out I was pregnant. So the wheels were in motion for me to come back here to be
Got
stationed
it.
with my husband, and there was a vacancy, or there was they needed a vocalist at this band here, so it worked out.
Yeah.
He works at the Navy School of Music in Virginia Beach. But so yeah, Japan. I was there to answer your question instead of going on for 5 minutes.
You're
Man,
good, girl. You're
uh,
good. Hey, I
I was
love
there.
the random tidbits. That's what we're
God.
here for out here.
Okay. It fills the time, I guess.
Yeah, man.
But I was there a year and a half,
Okay.
and I really wish that I had taken advantage more of going and traveling to the different cities, going to Tokyo, climbing Mount Fuji, and people would even say like, you need to do stuff while you're here. I'm very I like to hang out at home. I like to
Yeah,
get on YouTube, and I feel like I'm in a world in like that's a whole different world in itself, you
for
know.
sure.
And I would have to force myself to go do things, and so I would just say honestly, next time I get wherever I'm stationed next,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it a point to experience all that I can. Japan, oh my God, like I think they are the most ethnically homogenous country. So
I'd say
they
so. Yeah.
they're like 98%. Everyone like 98% Japanese ethnically,
Yeah.
and I, I guess that's reflected in the way that they are so. Um, Everyone is on the same wavelength.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
if you went to New York City and you have all different
Oof.
types of people, New York City, you have all different types of people from all
Yeah.
over the world. And there's maybe a lot of tension, right? Because you have
Yeah.
different cultures and stuff. In Japan, everything runs like crazy smooth. The trains are on time. Everything's clean. Everything's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no, I'm
No,
just,
no, 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 I get it. Yeah. Nobody's out there wilding like they would in New York.
right. Yeah. And so, I mean, but it's like anything. If you have a group of people that all grew up the same, all know that eat the same food and everything, it's probably going to be easier in some ways.
For sure.
But then you miss out on the wonderful benefits that come with diversity. So there's that too. But yeah, that I mean the sushi, like, come on, like that was
Dude,
fantastic.
I'm jealous. So I am, it's well documented on the show, my love and appreciation of food. And Japan is like top five, like top three spots of going to go in and experience the culture and the food and getting to eat that level of freshness
Mm,
of
mm-hmm.
of seafood and sushi. And it's just like, so anytime anybody tells me that they've been to Japan or they are going to Japan, I'm just like, that's awesome. I hate you. That's awesome.
Oh, right, right, right.
Well, it's
Well,
like, do you remember Joseph Gilbert?
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
he was a vocalist. Around the same time that I came to school. I think it was a year after me. Um, but he's living in Japan now, just big chilling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know Matt Hurtado?
Him
Matt,
too. Yeah.
yeah, I ran into him on bass. He's friends with to a trombone player that I was in
For real?
Japanese band with. Yeah. And well,
Okay.
somehow we had figured that out. I was like, wait, who is that in that picture? I was like, I went to college with him. And then I saw him on bass and he said, oh my God, well, I don't know if he'll be okay with me sharing this, but he was like, oh my God, like there's McDonald's and like Taco Bell and the Navy Exchange. It's like being in America. And I was like, what is he talking about? And it's because he's living out in Japan not in the military. So he was like feeling at home, I guess, coming on this U.S. military base. You got Taco Bell, you got, like the shopping mall and
the
yeah.
commonalities of America as opposed to the way they got things set up in Japan.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think he's still out there too, man, which is awesome for him. I think
good for him.
He's got some gig playing. So I don't know. He's doing all right.
Yeah. He's doing great.
So, I mean, that being said, dude, we met back at Texas State.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that, like, you graduated.
You didn't think I graduated?
What? No. It's just
what
like,
do you mean?
no.
Like
Okay, that came out mad disrespectful. No. But it was just like that group of people I was just so used to seeing, and then like everybody came back, and then you weren't there, and I was like, "Where'd she go?" And people were like,
yeah.
She graduated. I was like, "Oh yeah, she did what she's supposed to. She's done." Okay,
right.
and you graduated relatively on time too, and I think that was part of what made it a little confusing. Yeah, like how dare you graduate in what, 4 years? Did you actually?
I took a semester off after I did one semester in North Texas.
Yes.
Came back, took a semester off, went back. I graduated in the summer. Maybe that's why it was maybe confusing.
Yeah, definitely adds to it.
Yeah, I had a summer graduation, and then what did I do after that? I had my church gig, up in Austin with Dr. Babcock at his church. Then I started teaching. Freelance, I guess you would call it, in middle schools. So it's like they would have they'd have me come in and help them with solo and ensemble stuff and stuff like that. And then I was like, I saw this vacancy for this gig, and I was like, bet, oh yeah,
real
for
quick.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I remember you kind of like being done, and then all of a sudden I saw you like, hey, I'm in a Navy band now. Like, dude, that's awesome. So, and then what's the longevity on this gig, man? Are you trying to stay in, do your full 20 years, or what's up?
Before I had Theodore, that was my plan.
Okay.
And it still might be. So so I have to make this decision pretty quick because my reenlistment, if I want to reenlist, that's coming in about like the end of next year. I need to decide. And I love this job. I'm a salaried musician. I have benefits. I don't want to give that up. But at the same time, the possibility of going on a deployment on a ship for months and not being with my son, I've never felt more like I'm between a rock and a hard place than this. Because it's kind of like either way, I'm gonna be sad. It's like I get out, and then I'm not doing this gig anymore.
Yeah.
Or I stay in, and it's like, hey, my son's 2 or 1.5, and I have to go on a deployment. So I'm really having to about that. So I don't even know how to answer that question.
Ah, man, I get it. It's a tough choice, and I grew up in a military family, and
really,
yeah, dude. I'm like the only person in my family not to be in the military.
Wait, so what is your dad? What is your mom?
My mom. I don't want to misrepresent her story, so I can't talk on her too much. But something had happened. Like, I think she had enlisted and then it didn't work out or something like that. But my dad was 20 years retired Coast Guard, and then my sister was in the Coast Guard as well for 6.5 years, I think. And then my brother-in-law is still in the Coast Guard for, I think he's coming up on 14 or 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Cousin in the Marine. Grandpa was in the army. Like literally, like I'm one of the few people to not enlist or join any of the military branches.
You're
So
the hippie. You're like,
yeah, right.
yeah,
I'm
the
the
pacifist.
the weirdo that decided to go to college and pursue
Ugh.
music instead of taking the safe route of just being on a ship for a couple years. But
Right.
no, man, I get it. My brother-in-law is going through the same thing. They keep kind of pushing back. Again, I don't want to talk bad on the military, but like,
Hey, I listen. I won't be offended.
yeah. Well, they just like they're like, all right, this is gonna be your last. You do this deployment, you'll be straight. You won't have to do any more boat time. And then he comes back and he's like, all right, we good? And they're like, just kidding, one more.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I think the last time I talked to my sister, I need to call her today. Actually, it's her birthday.
Oh.
The last time I talked to her, this next time he goes out, he's supposed to go out. I think February 11th. She said is going to be his last time having to do any time on the boat. So
Mm.
fingers crossed that it is actually the last time for him. But we'll see.
I mean, even stuff that's in writing, like, hey, you're gonna detach from this command and you're gonna go to Seattle in March. I mean, that can get like
Yeah,
things change. You know, if they need you, they need you. It's like when President Trump was like, we're gonna deploy the USS Comfort and the USS that I mean Comfort and Mercy. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like they were not expecting that. So it's like the president says you gotta go. You gotta
yeah.
you gotta go.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing, and being in a position like you are, where you're technically attached to a boat or attached to a what have you. It's like, oh, I actually have to leave. I'm being deployed for realsies. Okay, I
Right.
guess.
Well, I with the musicians, there's usually they say, look, if we're gonna go on a deployment, here's the group that we're taking, so
Yeah,
everyone knows who they're going. But when I went on my deployment, I think we left oh my god, like left in the beginning of February, and I wasn't told till like late December,
oof.
which is not, it's not, I mean, some people have it way worse. I'm not,
Oh, for sure.
a lot of people do, but I was planning on not going. I was planning on like, oh, what are we gonna do here? Are we gonna fly to northern Japan and do this thing? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, like,
Got to go
uh,
do some stuff. Yeah.
yeah. But some of my favorite memories of life are on the ship. So
Oh,
there's
for
that.
sure, man. Yeah. I mean, there's always that as it's always those things that are hard that you're doing with people, that the camaraderie, like while you're in it, like, this sucks. I
Yeah.
hate everything about it. But then as soon as you like touch down and you're done with it, you're like, oh, that didn't. I kind of miss that. I kind of
Yeah.
miss it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a weird human. Um, what do you call that? Not interaction.
Connect. I mean,
Human
bonding.
connection, human experience. Like it's a super normal thing to where it's like, uh, oh, what was the book? I think it was Sapiens. That
Oh
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
reading,
yeah,
where
yeah.
they were talking to people that were um took part in like war torn uh scenarios, and you know the people are in constant fear of getting bombed and dying every single day. And once it cleared up, they're just like, I miss that level of connectivity I had with my neighbors. And even though we were fearing for our life, we managed to get closer to the people that were around us. And that's such a weird, again, silver lining
Oh
from
yeah.
from a terrible experience that is super common with all experiences.
It is weird because when you're in that moment, you would never think, oh, a year from now I'm gonna look back and wish I was here. You're like, no, this
Yeah.
sucks. You're like, all I want to do is pull in port and go outside and walk. And it's really like whenever you finally go outside and you're like with your Liberty Buddy and you're like walking around. It's like and you can like I'm putting my hands in my pockets and I'm wearing whatever I want and like blah blah blah. You know, like you're like, you know, the whole thing about they spent more money than a drunken sailor. That's not a lie. You know,
It's a real thing.
that's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? That's
It's a
a real thing.
saying, but it's definitely coming from a real point. And yeah, man, it's such a weird. Like, I want to sleep on a real bed.
Oh,
Like,
God, yeah. I couldn't sit up in my rack. I like when I was in my rack. If I'm watching something on my laptop or whatever, I'm like having to like angle it this way,
yeah,
and I'm like,
be
oh,
be
yeah,
super uncomfortable. Yeah, dude, it's such a weird thing. Like with when you go through stuff like that. Um, okay, we started to talk about Texas State,
yes. Sorry
but
that we got off.
let's nah, dude. It is what it is, man. That's just how it goes. And like, there's never any talking points out here. We just kind
Right.
of start talking. Eventually, the conversation's gonna end, and that'll be it. But until then, we're just gonna talk about whatever.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, Texas State, man. So all in all, how long were you in San Marcos?
Well, I was born there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes.
no. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So yeah, graduated from San Marcos High School, did 1 semester in North Texas, came back down, worked during that semester off. So I graduated in 2015. Then I stuck around, and I left San Marcos when I left for the Navy. So that was
Oh, really?
2017.
Okay.
So I was 25. So I spent a quarter of a century in San Marcos.
Dang, girl. Dude, how weird was it to be back and how different it looks from when we were there at Texas State? Did you
Oh,
did you catch all the new buildings and new apartments and all that?
every time I've been back to San Marcos, even this is going to sound crazy, but you'll back me up on this. When I was living there, it's like if I drove a new route to get to HEB or whatever, I'd be like, when did that? What the hell
Yes,
is
dude.
that?
Yes.
So it's not just, oh, I haven't been there in 6 months. I haven't been there. It's like, I haven't been out in 2 days, and now there's a condominium that's halfway freaking
Yeah,
built.
man. It's crazy how quick things are going up in San Marcos. And I mean it's ultimately for the better, maybe. I don't know, but there's definitely some things that have kind of gone under, and it makes me a little sad to see them go. You know what I'm saying?
Triple Crown,
Crown was like the first big one that
dude,
like people
memory.
there was an emotional connection to Triple Crown. And then
Yeah.
what was the icy place? Um
Ice, like a food
it,
place?
no, they sold the alcoholic slushies.
I never knew about
You
that.
didn't know about that place? Oh,
No.
dude. Yeah,
Was it, they got rid of it?
they got rid of it. It was yeah, and that was like only got to go there like once. And then I was like, yo, that place is super dope. Let's go back. Building's gone.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, the fact that there's a Target, my mom was like, "You got to see this Target that's on the bottom floor of this housing." Do you know
What?
about this? Yeah. Okay. How do you not know about this? So like, so this is the on the edge of campus by by like downtown by the fire station that's there. There's a Taco Bell there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gumby's Pizza right there.
Yeah, okay. So
There's
that big ass one by like across the street from Gumby's.
yes, and on the bottom floor is a
Are
Target.
you kidding me?
No, I drove past it. It's a freaking Target. So it's like very like new, city
That's
type of feel.
bananas. That's
Yeah.
bananas. I had no idea. I was just there the other day too. I when I went to go to Louis, which I'm
Oh,
really glad they're still around. I
are
don't
they?
know. They are, man.
Ah,
I don't know if you ever got to go to Louis
I did.
while you were there, man,
Yeah,
but
you know why I remember going to Louis? Because they had something like $2 margaritas.
$1.50. $1.50
Dollar
mark.
fifty? Yeah.
Yep. And
So
they're,
there you go.
50 cents more than your not Treff's. What was the place next? Grins. 50 cents
Grin.
more than
Oh yeah,
Grins
yeah,
margaritas, but
yeah.
they were like so much better than the weird agave wine thing that Grins was serving.
Grins. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Grins also has a special place in my heart for their garbage food and garbage
Oh,
drinks.
yeah. They have a fun feel, a fun
Yeah,
environment.
it's a nice time being there, but
You
it
wait, you
looks
know what? I like Pie Society.
yo, Pie
That's
Society,
right. It's right across from the music building.
dude,
Oh my
so
God.
so good.
Yeah,
I
so good.
Probably the best pizza in San Marcos off the top of my head, unless there's some random pizza joint that popped up that I don't know about. But but yeah, man, San Marcos.
Actually, the bar next to that is what I'm thinking of. There's a bar next to Pie Society, right? Is that still
Uh, there
there was? Maybe it's
there
gone.
was that shopping center has been turned over
Ooh.
like 50 times, dude. Uh, the I think Rose Garden was the one place that was like stayed tried and true, and then finally the lady was just like, "I'm tired of working. Who wants to buy this place? You? All right, cool. I'm out."
Yeah, I ain't doing this no more. Yeah. Did you know San Marcos, little San Marcos native knowledge right here?
Hit me with it.
That whole area right there, and you can visualize it. That used to be a mini golf course. That area that has mochas and javas and rose
Are you
garden, and
serious?
that used to be a miniature golf course. Yes. Yeah. And then the
Oh,
music, you knew this, but the music building used to be a gymnasium.
yes.
You knew that, yeah.
Hilarious that they
Yeah.
still don't have a new music building out.
Oh, yeah, what is that about?
Such such a bleak building, and the fact that there's no windows anywhere is just super awesome.
Oh, where I work, there's no windows, and that's because it used to be a bowling alley.
Wow.
So I feel like when am I gonna be able to go to an institution of music where it wasn't repurposed? You know what I'm saying?
One day you will get a actual music building and it'll be
Devoted,
beautiful.
yeah. One day.
I just got one actually. They when I moved out to my school, they had just like passed the bond to redo the fine arts wing.
Hmm.
So it was really cool. Now that I'm in the space, I've got a full percussion studio, got like practice rooms, like this big open space that I can rehearse in, a like super stacked storage room. But up until like for the last year and a half before that, I was big chilling in a portable in the parking lot in the front of the
Oh.
school by myself. And
Uh,
dude, it was rough dealing with that. Plus side, uh I was just kind of by myself and nobody messed with me.
mm.
Downside, uh like I don't know, like I because of that, I'm now in my third year and I'm gonna say well over 80% of the school doesn't know I exist.
That's great.
Which I'm not mad about. I'm not mad
Yeah.
about it, but it is funny because like I'll walk by teachers and they're like, he looks old. So I assume he works here. But I've never seen him before. Huh. Yeah,
Right.
and it doesn't help that I'm out here rocking hoodies sometimes
Mm.
because I'm not gonna iron my shirt because I worked out, do those morning workouts, and it's like either I can iron my shirt or I could eat breakfast.
Exactly.
Going with breakfast, dog. Going with breakfast.
Yeah, always.
Um, anyways, dude, so what did you when we were in San Marcos, what was your go-to spot if you're going out? If you remember.
Sorry.
You're good.
That was a combination of laughing and the one. What was my go-to spot to hang out?
Yeah.
I didn't really hang out a lot. I don't know if you could tell, but I wasn't. I think I went to like a couple parties. But let me think. I went to. I did go to that bar that was by Pie Society every now and then. Mochas and Javas. Is that like exciting? I went there to
That
study and
counts.
chill.
That counts. Yo,
Yeah.
throw back to the old mocha.
Oh, Wake the Dead.
Yo,
The Dead. That's where it was.
yes,
Yeah.
that's such a underrated coffee joint in San Marcos.
Mm-hmm. Love
It's
it.
good. So good. That was my go-to coffee shop as well. It was just a little inconvenient being on like the outskirts
Yeah,
of
I
town.
could have walked there. I could have walked there.
Really?
I don't want to tell you because I don't want people to know, but yeah, but I could walk there, and it
Your
was
fam your were you living with your family while you went to school there?
yes, I
Okay.
was. And you know what? Let me, because I feel like I need to defend that.
Hey, no,
Okay,
dude, you're good, bro. No judgment
I
here.
I feel like I can get my own place, even though I have my own room and my own everything there. I could get my own place and have to pay for it and have to work more because I have to pay for my place, and then I don't have as much time for my studies and my practicing, right? And
Ah,
my
man.
repertoire and shit. And I was like, when I was there, my mission, my goal was to become a better vocalist and a better
Yep.
musician. It was not to do fraternities, no issue or disrespect to anyone who does that.
Yep.
But like that was my goal. It wasn't to like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm immediately going to go to grad school and do this, and then I'm going to, and again, if that's your journey, that's fine. But mine was like, what do I need to do to become a better vocalist, become a better musician? And at that time, I was like, let me just stay with my parents. And then
Yeah.
after I graduated, I did move out. I did move out. But while I was in college, I lived with them.
Nah, dude, it makes a whole lot of sense, man. If you have the opportunity, like while I was in it, I definitely kind of judged some people, but looking back on it now, like I got kids, fixing to graduate and all that. I was when I was coming out of high school, I was like, yo, I'm not going to community college. Not gonna happen. Not gonna do that. But now I'm just like looking at my kids, I'm like, yo, bro, save money. Save
Yeah.
like it's $1,000 for a semester, like for a full course load at the community
Mm-hmm.
college.
Yep.
And I know the guys out here. They're good. Just go do that. You'll be straight. Figure your life out. Stay at home if you need to. Move out if you need to. It doesn't matter. Like looking back on it, yeah, because I had the opposite issue. I didn't get to focus on being a percussionist because I was working 4 jobs to have to pay for all my bills.
You were.
Oh yeah, girl. Your boy's always hustling to make some money.
Why didn't you just get an OnlyFans?
Dude, well, I wasn't OnlyFans wasn't around yet.
Yeah, or else you would have done it.
I, yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
bro, so much money to be made on that website. It's bananas.
But
And you don't even need to do anything. People just like cooking food topless. They getting paid for it. Bananas.
hey, all the power to them, honestly.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, shout out to them. It's, if you making money, you making money. Good for you. But
my
yeah.
my parents when I was like born, they what is it called? A Texas Tomorrow Fund, Texas Guaranteed Tuition. You would pay for however much for a 4-year college cost in 1992, which is when I
Oh,
was born.
word?
And whenever I go to college, that's all that they still that they still pay. So whatever
Gotcha.
it was in 1992 is what I paid or what they paid for me to go to college. So I guess they had the foresight
Yeah,
to
man.
do
Good for
that. You know what I
them,
mean?
dude. Good
And
for
and
them.
honestly, I'm really thankful because I have so many friends like you, like a lot of other friends that went to Texas State that didn't have that
Mm-hmm.
privilege. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like and it's like, man, if I had to work one job, 2 jobs, whatever, would I even be on the trajectory that I'm on now? Maybe I wouldn't have
Yeah.
had as much focus and as much, so it's like I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. And so thankful that I had that luxury, I guess you could say, of being able to focus because
Yeah.
not everybody has that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying?
I mean, as long as you appreciated it and you you obviously made something of that opportunity for yourself,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is a big
Yes.
part. Because there is the flip side of that of I knew a couple kids that had either they had like a fun setup like you're saying, or their parents were just like down to pay for the tuition and they're just out there not doing anything. Just like
Dude, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Well, let me think about what I say before I say it. Hold on.
Don't come
Okay.
in too hot. Don't come in too hot. You're good.
I remember when I was at Texas State, and there was this infamous toga party, apparently. I don't know if you knew,
Okay.
but there was this big toga party.
I
And
think
I'm
so.
looking at all these like pictures that people took. Oh, look at this. She's so messed up, and he's so. And I'm looking at it going, she's at this party, but she was supposed to be off book a week ago, and she's not. He's at this party, and he doesn't know the repertoire for chorale, and we're always having to wait on him. Why are you doing anything in your free time? I'm sorry. Is that coming in too hot, or is that
No,
coming
man,
in
I
too
get
hot?
it. I get it. Like that's just you speaking from a real place of professionalism. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Well, because here's the thing. If you want to take the hit in your own lessons, in your own private lessons with your teacher, that's fine. But when a whole cast is waiting on you, or
yeah,
a whole ensemble is relying on you, and you're not being considerate of other people.
yes,
Like
yeah.
it's not just about you now.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm having to stay past 6:30 with Dr. Martin. Love him to death, freaking love him. But
Shout out Dr. Martin.
I'm having to stay past because you aren't prepared.
Yeah.
So
Nah,
that
man.
kind of ticks me off. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah.
I was in the same boat. I was on both sides of that. I've been on both sides of that. On the concert band side of things, I was one of the people like I it was one of those semesters that was just from the jump I was just like going downhill the entire thing. And so like I just never really got my footing, and we came to rehearsal and I was like, I have this part, I haven't looked at it, and then like we start playing it, I'm folding all over myself, and then the director looks up at me, Dr. Beatty, she's like, "Yeah, are you gonna do you know your part? Are you gonna count? What's up?" And like I look at her, I'm just like, dude, I know. I'm sorry. Please just move on for like 15 minutes. Let me
Right.
figure it out. And then she just like, nope, she just kept running this one part. And she's like, all right, so who else can get this part? And she just like she
Oh.
gave my part away to somebody else, like in the middle of rehearsal. And I was like, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not fun. And then on the other side of things, like being in salsa band, I was like, y'all still don't know this? Bro, like, what do you mean
Right.
you don't know this? I know it's the 18th tune we got for this one night coming up, but just like I have it memorized and you can't read
Right.
the notes on the page. Like, yeah, so
I
no,
guess you have a different experience because if you're working 4 jobs, I could see that as an excuse, why you don't. But what I'm talking about is the people that were constantly doing. And again, I don't have a problem with the extracurricular like fraternity stuff,
yeah,
but it's like you might not have time for that.
for sure.
If you're in a position to where you need to spend more time practicing and you know honing your craft. Like I felt like I wouldn't have had time for that. I wouldn't have had
For
time
sure.
for fraternity stuff and that. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to pick where your priorities are, I
Hmm.
guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You do. And there was a lot of people that thought they could do both and thought they were doing both, and they were not. They were
Yeah, yeah.
they were struggle busting more than they realized, like it while they were doing it. But
Right.
and that's not to talk bad on anybody, but it is
No.
what it is, man. Like they those ensembles were a job, and you needed to be prepared for your job, and a lot of those people weren't as prepared, myself included, on a
Right.
couple of those gigs. So you know you live and you learn, and I think
Yes, you do.
time has shown who benefits from that stuff. You know what I mean? Like you have a very solid gig, you very little complaints to be made about like what your trajectory ended up being, and the people that didn't put in the work aren't in the same spot. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a sad thing, especially like if there were like a bad. I'm not thinking of anybody in particular. Like I don't want to think anybody. I'm calling anybody out, but like I know that there's a couple people that didn't get to finish their degree for X, Y, Z reason, and it sucks for some of them because they were like good people, and things just didn't work out for them, and that's unfortunate. There were some people that didn't work out, and they sucked. So it's like, well, you got it. You got, karma's a bitch.
Right, right. I mean, my theory was like screw everything else. Screw like putting this down on my like I volunteered for this and I did this. You can have letters of recommendation from your teacher. You can have all this experience in productions. If you sound like shit, they're not gonna. No, but listen. I'm not.
No, dude, I love it. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
let me put it this way. Hey, I'm gonna make a cake. I've got pink icing. I've got blue icing. I have glitter. I have this fondue shit. And then I'm like, oh great, let me see the cake. And they're like, I don't have it yet. And it's like, okay, well, it's like me. It's like before I look at any of that shit, I need to make sure that I got that cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, maybe that wasn't a good. Okay, so
I 100% get what you're saying, girl. I get it, and that's a real thing. There's people that came in with those. I came from X program. I was an all-state.
Well, I did that. No, I was not.
Well, like
I was that bitch. That was like. I wore my Letterman jacket in the summer because it had my Allstate patches on it. But I've grown. I've matured. I don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that.
Yeah.
No, but like, okay. Yeah. Oh, I came from this program.
I'm saying people like when they got to college, they rode that coattail and they thought that was gonna get them through the entire thing. It's like, hey, Bubba, 70% of the people here made All-State. You ain't that special. Figure it out.
Well, listen. This is a funny little story, but we were doing a production. I'm not going to say who this was at all, but this was opera theater. We were doing a production. We were in rehearsal, and sometimes you have little dust-ups or little disagreements, and someone keeps missing their whatever. So I get into a little dust-up with this person, and they say, hold on, let me say. He says, Katie, I was in an opera in Italy. Like that. And wait. But what he was referring to was one of those like cash cow, like summer opera. Summer, like where you pay.
He was in a program.
He was in a program. And I said that to him because that was a mistake that he said that. Because then I was like, are you talking about a program that you paid for to go to? Did you just say you were? And I said that in front of everybody because like you're saying, I mean, oh, I did this, I did that. Okay, let's hear you sing.
Go ahead.
Let's hear you sing. Oh well, like.
Dude, and you know what? This is a good segue to one of the other things I want to talk to you about. Is they often talk about it in the UFC, where it's like you're only as good as your last fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of these people, it's like, I knocked a kid out in my first fight ever. I'm the greatest fighter of all time. All right, cool. So like, what happened on the last fight? You lost to a decision? Neat.
Right.
So you lost. You're coming off a loss. Yeah, but I knocked that one kid out. But you're coming off a loss. All right. It's like, I made All-State. But you're in the bottom choir.
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing, dog? Like, and again, people, people that listen to this, they're gonna be like, but you never made it. Like you never made it out of concert band until you're like fourth year in school, Marcus. Yeah, I also didn't know my scales going into college, and it took me until my sophomore year to be a music major. I'm well aware where I'm at on the totem pole. I was never a kid like, yo, I'm a badass. Listen to me. It's like, yo, I suck. but I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna probably outwork you, and you know, and that's where we're at right now. Like I have I've got a great job. I've got a full percussion studio. I
Oh yeah.
wanted to be a high school and middle school director. I'm a high school and middle school director.
Yes.
Some of these kids that came in and their resumes said that they're better musicians than I am. They're better teachers than I am. They're teaching elementary. Not bagging on anybody teaching elementary, but it's like, is that really what you wanted to do?
Right.
Not, but you just didn't have the ability to actually do the thing that you thought you deserved. So,
And that's it too. You just said it, like, deserve. I deserve this. Or, maybe people who grew up in, their mom was in band boosters or
yep.
whatever, and so they kind of got preferential treatment, and it's like, you're on a who said this? Oh, my instructor or my teacher at North Texas, he said to all of us, college is a comfortable couch that you lay on. It's so comfortable. Wait till like, actually, you have a job and you don't learn your shit.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gone.
man.
Bye. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. The gig economy is not a friendly one.
no.
And a lot of those performance majors just kind of you think you're going to be able to make it out based off of your talents. Like, nah, dog. That's not how it works. You got to, like you said, got to be able to sing. Can you sing? No. You ain't got the job.
Right. Well, it's like, but that's what I'm saying is, I would say, like, make sure you got the thing, like, make sure that you're focused on the reason why you're there.
Yeah.
Like, why are you there? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's so sad now that people are going to college so that they can have a good resume for a master's school, so that they can do, and it's like, when is it ever just, I am going to go, like, I like the idea of trade school.
Yeah.
Like, someone's like, I want to go be a mechanic, and everything that they learn pertains to them actually being able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. And looking back on it now, obviously, like you said, you're like, my job is to become the best vocalist I can become while I'm here. And it showed up. For me, it was more like my intention of being at school was to not be a loser. As
Right.
opposed to being like, I'm gonna be the best musician I can be. It was like, I'm not gonna be a loser and drop out of college. So I'm gonna keep doing this thing. So, like, did I achieve that goal? Yes. Did I achieve the goal of being the best musician possible? No. But you know,
But that's, like,
to each his own on that level.
yeah,
Like, we both achieved what our goal was when we got to school.
right.
You know, it's
You
it's
did what
it's
you needed to do.
exactly, it's a matter of like what your intention was going in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I brought it up because I specifically remember
Oh God. Oh
like
God.
a brush conversation of Ronda Rousey and
Oh.
Amanda Nunes. Now, girl, I'm not gonna bring up some
Ah.
chisme from back in the day. Come on now.
There was no cheese in it. Like, there
I
was
know
like,
exactly. I
there
got nothing.
really wasn't.
No,
Honest.
on the you girl. No, I got no bad on you other than somebody trying to start mess with you because you actually know what you're doing. Like,
Oh, that's still.
yeah, there's
Whatever.
nothing actual bad on you. But no, I remember. I think had to have been in like the music building lobby, or maybe like going to Mocha's and Java's, something like that. And somebody said like, "Nah, man, Ronda Rousey got that in the bag," and you're like, "No, Amanda Nunes is gonna stomp her out." And I was on the Rousey train. I was like, I didn't say nothing. I was just like, nah, man, I think Rousey got it. And then sure enough, like, just stomped her out.
40
So
seconds.
40 seconds. Damn, girl, look at you knowing your stuff. Come on now.
You can ask me. Like, I'm obsessed with that. Really, it's really weird. I
No,
don't know
no,
why.
that's what I wanted to ask you about then. Like, how, and I don't know where you're at on time. I've got I've got like 10 minutes before I gotta jet. But how did you fall in love with mixed martial arts? How did you get to like what's your relationship with MMA and the UFC?
Well, okay, so I actually started training Muay Thai at a gym in New Braunfels, Bujitsu with Billy Booch was my coach.
Okay.
And right before I got the job with the Navy, and I was about to have to go through the medical process, and they were going to make sure that, I didn't have anything wrong with me. We were in the process, like we had just started talking about setting up what you call a smoker. That's also a term
Yeah,
that they use
yeah,
in the
yeah.
Navy. Yeah, a smoker with someone from another gym. Um,
So pause real quick. Another shared thing. Used to be a fighter as well.
oh, well,
I was
you used to be, I was never one, but you
okay.
were.
Yeah, I did one smoker when I was in kickboxing. Yeah.
Oh,
So
so
sorry, go ahead.
did you ever think about going amateur? And that just never happened?
No, looking back, I wish I had thought about it, but I just had a homie that was in band with me, and he did taekwondo, and then his school turned into like a kickboxing slash just multi level of training
Right.
gym. And I jumped back in, like I did Muay Thai, not, excuse me, I did martial arts like all throughout my childhood, like here and there.
Oh. Mhm.
So when I got to San Antonio and he told me about that, I jumped in and I did it for a little bit. And then um just with most things, like I'm highly prone to injury.
Uh,
So it was, it's
right.
hard to manage all that stuff.
Right. Man, so like, yeah, so I never had a smoker
Okay.
because I was like, I'm not going to go forward with this when I just got this gig. I'm about to go through medical screening. But the reason I got into it is growing up I was very small,
Yeah.
very skinny, bullied type of shit, made fun of. Maybe people don't realize, but I had messed up teeth, horrible acne, so bad that when I took Accutane and it went away, some people didn't recognize me.
Wow.
So it was that bad. So when I became an adult and I realized that I have some strength and I have some coordination because I
Hmm.
danced my whole life, I knew, like, I know in my heart, like, another female of my size, I'm very confident, like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and it's something that I'm always wanting to do, like sitting here now, whatever. Like I'm always wanting to do that. I'm always like itching to do that. And as soon as I get my vaccine, I already have the gym down here,
Oh,
uh,
word? Okay.
Norfolk, Muay Thai, and there is a UFC fighter that trains there, Miranda Maverick. So I'm
Okay.
gonna hopefully like maybe take lessons from her. Anyway,
Maybe cross some paths, see what's up.
yeah, like hook me up, girl, hook me up. No, but so yeah, Muay Thai was great because I do have long arms
Yeah.
and the patience. Okay, here's the thing. I trained with a mixed martial artist who fought in Legacy Fighting
Okay.
Championship.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and he was like, so what are you here to do? And I was like, I want to defend myself. I want to know how to fight, like really fight, and fuck somebody up if I had to. And he was like, all right. He was like, you wanna know to really fuck somebody up? Muay Thai. And I was like, okay, like not jujitsu or anything like that. And he was like, you wanna fuck someone up? Muay Thai. And that ended up being great because I did go to a jujitsu gym in New Braunfels
Yeah.
before this one, and man, I left there with bruises and scrapes. They weren't playing around, and I was like, I don't have the patience for this. I can't do the whole like okay, like yeah, it's like yoga, and it's like, and it takes time, and you're gonna be a white belt for 5 years. It's like, I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, no, like you, come on, you know me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, so we were hitting pads very soon. His shoulder would hurt because of when I would, my right hand was that. I mean, this is according to him.
On some
He would
real
take off. He would
okay.
take off. Wait, which pad would it be? Yeah, so it would be his right. It would be
Yeah,
his right
he's right.
shoulder,
Yeah.
and he'd go like that, and that's when I was like, I was like, yeah, and getting like when you're throwing kicks and you're doing pad work and you're so tired and you know this that you want to give up, but then like that animal comes out and you're like, and
Second
you get like
level
a
of energy. Yeah, man.
and it's
It's
ferocious.
different. It's different,
Yes,
man.
and it's like
I
whoa.
Dude, oh girl, you let me know when you get through your first fight. Cause oh god, I want to talk to you after that. See what's up.
The thing is like it. I think my husband would think this was stupid. Like that's something that has not gone off of my radar.
Really?
Like, oh no, not at all. Not at all. I
Okay.
still I want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I want
Dude,
to.
do it. Do it. It's a lot of fun, and it's really hard to explain to somebody that has never been into a fight that like getting punched in the face is fun, but it is. And it also it feels good. It doesn't feel good, but it feels good. I don't know.
Right. It's natural. I
Yeah.
would think.
Or
I
we're
don't.
just
I like.
crazy and we're just built a little different.
There might be. Yeah, I was sparring with a big dude. By the way, the more professional a male fighter is, the more he knows what to do when he's sparring with a girl
Yes.
or sparring. But some don't. Like amateur guys, sometimes
Mhm.
they only know one thing. So I've been hit in the face, like not like hardcore, but like, and so I was sparring with this big dude, and I accidentally kicked him where I shouldn't have kicked him. Kicked him down there,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And he like took a minute. He was like, whatever. And then we come back in, and he tries to Superman punch me.
Híjole.
This big dude,
Bro, you gotta
and I didn't get hit, and I
add a
didn't get hit.
girl. Add a
I
girl.
didn't get hit.
But
So
oh man, that's so that's so gross on his part to just like
yeah,
not like you're not intentionally trying to get a
I
hit below the belt, man. It's just ugh.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a
It
little
happens,
weird.
man. It happens.
See,
I
I
got
don't like getting punched in the face. I don't like it. I
yeah,
don't
no,
like it.
I'm crazy. I do. I
You
enjoy
too.
getting hit in the face. Yeah. It's a problem. And I know I need fighting in my life, and I just haven't figured out like a like at what level to put it. Like as
Yeah,
far as like importance in my day to day. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's something about hitting pads, man, just feels good.
it
Uh,
does.
so have you been keeping up with the cards as of recently?
Always, always. I don't. So, I keep up with UFC. Invicta Fighting Championship is a promotion that's all female. But yeah,
Isn't
UFC is
isn't Victor really all female?
Invicta's all female. Yeah, and a lot of those
Oh,
girls come into the UFC. So
yeah.
The UFC gets a lot. It's almost like a what do you call it league where they're growing new fighters,
Yeah,
like a,
like
and then they build. Yeah, you
mhm,
know what I'm
mhm,
saying.
mhm.
So like there will be people that have a UFC debut, like Khabib Nurmagomedov's cousin just had his UFC
Yes. Yeah,
debut.
yeah, yeah.
Like I was already tracking on that. You know what I mean? Like I know his coach. I don't know his coach. I know of his coach.
Yeah.
Like I know like some people's nutritionists and shit like that, or like
What? Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
like Joanna Jacek's nutrition. Like I'm telling you, I don't even know who sings at the Metropolitan Opera. I don't know what the top 40 list is. I don't know who's the biggest singer. I don't know who's the biggest opera singer. I don't know. But I can tell you the last 5 fights that, Jimmy nobody fucking had. I don't
Yo,
understand.
all right. All right. So I'm gonna be hitting you up a lot then because I am also well documented. I will bet on anything and I
Oh,
bet on a lot of fights. So I might be hitting you up for some young
okay.
cats on their
I
like the early prelims. It's like their first UFC
yeah.
fight, and they've got these stupid odds. It's like plus negative 500. Be like, hey, yo, should I take it?
I might be able to help you there. I might if I know them from another promotion or
Yeah,
something. I might be able to help
big
you.
bet. Uh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need to go, Marcus? You need to go.
I was about to say last question. Two questions. Two questions.
Okay.
Which this one is a mixed question. Which weight class do you feel is the most stacked? 145, 155, or
150,
170 or 170?
155 men, 155 males.
155, yes. Okay. In the 155, who do you want to see fight?
Who do I want to see? Well, if
Yeah.
Khabib is still going to be in, I think he needs to rematch Dustin because of
Okay.
what just happened. And if Khabib is going to vacate that belt, I think maybe Michael Chandler, who just came in from Bellator,
Okay.
versus Dustin. Because the co-main event was Michael Chandler, who's the lightweight champion of Bellator.
Yes. Yep.
He won that fight
That
in
was a
like
hell of a fight on his part. Man, he hit Dan Hooker with such a shot, man. That was bananas.
yeah. So
Okay,
he's
this is my idea. All right.
okay.
I'm in a similar boat as to what you just said. I think it needs to be um Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira for the belt. And I think Chandler needs one more.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and I think it needs to be against Gaethje. And it bothers me that people are sleeping on Gaethje because he was murdering people.
Yeah.
And then he lost to Khabib like everybody else loses to Khabib. And all of a sudden he's like this garbage fighter. Like, hold on. Don't
Right.
count my
Right.
boy Gaethje out. So I think that's what needs to happen as far as like the top four in the 155 division.
Yeah, I could definitely see the argument that Michael Chandler needs another fight. I mean,
Yeah.
it's his first fight in the UFC, so
And,
that
and it's
makes
not even more of like a proving thing. Like he needs to be like prove his like worth or all thing. But like I feel like people are disrespecting Gaethje by just like brushing brushing past him after one loss to Khabib, right? So I think Charles
that's
Oliveira, he's on like this 8-fight win streak,
okay.
bananas.
Yeah,
So like, and then Dustin Poirier starches Conor. Like,
because
okay,
Oliveira just beat Ferguson.
yeah, man,
Yeah, he did. Okay.
in it like an embarrassing fashion too, man, which was rough. And I was a Ferguson fan for a while, and I kind of feel bad about where he stands with the
Yeah.
entire division. But um yeah, Charles Oliveira just been he's like starch. He's just they only move him up like one rank after every fight, and he's like, all right, I'm number 8, number 7, let's go. Beat him.
Yeah.
7, I'm 6, let's go. Like he's just been inches way up. So it's like I think he deserves the shot against
Poirier
Poirier. Okay.
or Khabib. Oh well, no. If Khabib comes back, or Khabib,
Or
right?
Khabib. Either way, either way. I
Yeah.
I believe Khabib is out. I think he needs to vacate the title. I don't think he's done forever, but I think he needs to vacate the title, and and we could go on that next time.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
could
we
be
can.
okay? Last one.
Oh hell yeah.
What does Conor McGregor do?
He said that he was going to be back, which surprised me. He said that in the interview right afterwards.
Yes.
Oh, I think he's going to take a I don't know, safer fight than Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Like he's, I really do think that he's doing this because he likes doing it.
Yeah.
And so with that said, I think he'll be like, like he fought Cerrone and he beat him quick. Fought
Yeah.
Poirier, okay. So he was like, I'm better than Cerrone. Not on the level of Poirier right now. But I
Yeah.
think if he, I think he'll come back maybe like in a year, like he did with the
Okay.
last 2 fights.
Which one would you rather see? Would you rather see Diaz 3 or Poirier 3?
Diaz 3.
Who
Like that's not even.
do you got in that fight then? Who do you got? Diaz or McGregor?
Well, Diaz already won twice, in my opinion. I think he won the second one, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. And that's what Diaz. Anytime a reporter asks Nate Diaz, "What do you think about the trilogy fight with McGregor?" He's like, "I already won both." He's like, "I already
Yeah.
won both." So no, but I would think it would go to decision, and Diaz would win. That's my prediction if it happens.
Okay. You
Yeah.
heard it here first. Dude, I feel like you're got to be my UFC person, man, because I that's like my sport that I love, and I don't have many people to talk to about it. I talk to the dudes on the podcast with me about it, but they're just like they like just sports, so they'll keep up with it, but they're not like entrenched in it as shit. You're more entrenched in it than I am. I don't know anybody's coach, but
it was so funny because I don't remember where I was. I don't remember where I was, but I was waiting somewhere, and these two guys were talking, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that dude, that Hawaiian dude," like, and they were talking about Max Holloway. They're like, "The Hawaiian dude won for," and I was like, "Max Holloway," and they're like, "Yeah," and then they were saying something else, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and then who did he fight last time? And I was, oh, whoever it was, it's like Anthony Pettis, and then they go like, and it's so surprising to people, but I mean, hey, I really like to keep up with it. I don't know.
I get it. I think I've decided that that's my sport. Like, I grew up watching football. I tried to get into the basketball thing. I do love watching basketball, but it's like I'm not gonna be as active in that. Like, I will not make plans on a Saturday night because there's a big fight. I'm like, I gotta watch this fight card. Or if I do make plans, I'm like, yo,
cancel them.
Like, it was my boy's birthday last Saturday on the McGregor fight, and I was like, yeah, cool. We just did the cake. All right, cool. I'm watching the fight on my phone. I'll be back in like 25 minutes tops.
You know what's funny? What's really funny, and then I know you have to go, but the stereotype is that the husband sitting on the couch watching sports, and the wife's like, "Hey, so blah blah blah," and he's like, and it's like this is like, I'm like, yeah, hold on a second, and then I'm like, God, I'm such an asshole because I'm like so.
Oh man, yeah. Fights are important. I get it. Hey man, yeah. But we're 100% gonna do this again.
Oh yeah.
100%. Whether. So I've got my boy. I'm actually meeting with him tonight. So I've got Music Mondays with Max, and he's a sound engineer.
Max Carney, I know Max.
Yeah, Max Carney. Yeah, Max Carney.
Yeah. I had a scene with him in Don Giovanni. He was my husband.
No shit.
And he had to pretend to beat me. He had to go, yeah, like that. So anyway, yeah, I know Max.
Yo, I'm talking to him tonight. I'm bringing that up. All right. But I'm doing like once a month with him, because he just, he's always on like the next wave of music. He's so entrenched in the game. So like I talk to him about it. So maybe like once a month we get together and we just talk about fighting. And I'm so down.
MMA podcast.
MMA, like it's.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. I have ideas.
All right. Okay, we'll talk about it. I do need to get up out of here. But I want to give
something I want you to edit out, and you can keep this in. But there is something I want you to edit out. I don't know why I said it, so I'm gonna text you. Okay?
Got it. Got you.
All right.
Before we bounce, anything that you want to plug? Anything you want people to know about?
Like I said, I'm a professional vocalist, and a lot of my recordings are on my Facebook page. I think it's KK Whitbeck. KK Whitbeck. Look that up. WHITBECK. And I'm in the U.S. Fleet Forces Band. So if you go on Facebook, Instagram, all that, U.S. Fleet Forces Band, and you can see our content there.
Perfect. All right. And you guys go show her some love. She's a bad bitch. She knows her stuff. She's oh yeah, man. I got nothing bad to say about you ever. You've been a homie since day one, and yeah. I appreciate you jumping on the show, girl.
Of course, I love this. Let's do it again.
Of course, I'm gonna end the recording, and then we'll say like the final goodbyes off air. Okay. But thank you, everybody that stayed with us all the way to the end.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all be easy.
Thank you. Thank you.